Welcome to the Wisdom, Wealth, and Winning Podcast. My name is Larry Crump, and I'm the councilman in the city of Newark.
And my name is Al Tariq Kinney, surrogate for the County of Essex.
My name is Larry Jones. I am the founder and CEO of Future Leaders of Tomorrow.
My name is Alfred Hardy. I'm the director of Parks and Recreation in the township of Hillside.
Pull up a seat and come and eat with us.
So the most amount of money I made in my life is when I sold my house.
The most amount of money I made was through real estate.
The most amount of money I've made is when I sold one of my houses.
The most amount of money I've made is doing my T-shirt business during the pandemic.
You had this T-shirt business during the pandemic?
Yeah, so black men, black women are dope. You actually wore it. I wore it on previous episodes. And the idea came up really when a lot of things was happening within our community, especially with police brutality. People were saying Black Lives Matter, but I started to see our black people accomplish certain accolades. And so it was actually the Nigerian women's, I believe it was either track team, and they just started doing amazing things. So I put the hashtag Black Women Are Dope. And I was like, oh man, this will make sense. Mm-hmm. And then I said, let me put it on a T-shirt. And then, so what I started to do was, from there, I said, you know what, black women are dope, black men are dope. And then I started to create conversations around that. And then, so what started to happen was during the pandemic, people were at home. And then if you realize, people were buying a lot of stuff online, Amazon, that was a time where everything was right in front of your face. So, and then George Floyd happened, then Breonna Taylor happened, and then we were protesting. So that was one thing that really spiked my sales. But the strategy, though, was to build conversations, because what I started to see was black men and black women online. They were talking at each other, not to each other. Mm-hmm. So I wanted this to be talking pieces, where people wear it, and they'll be able to be like, oh, it's an affirmation. Like, oh, I do believe it. So that was one thing. The strategy that I used was I would just give my shirts to influencers. Like, for instance, Raz Baraka, he wore my shirt. When I would get Charlemagne the God, and then just other people, and it would just catch, right? And when I gave it to influencers, that helped to spike sales. And I mean, and I had a good 3 to 4 year. I mean, I still get sales off of it. I haven't promoted it as much as I should, and that was really due to me. And the other part about selling things is, or selling items, is that you have to be able to scale and build staff around it. And I didn't want to, because that would have been more out of my margin. So I had to, I had to figure that piece out. So. But it's an amazing, it's been an amazing ride, and I've gotten into rooms that, just recently, I had somebody from London reach out, and they bought a shirt. I had shirts, sold shirts in Paris, so it's been a great, way to get your ideas out there and to build an audience. So that's my process, my strategy. And, I think really getting it into influencers' hands, you have to have a good product, number one.
Yeah.
You have to have a good product, number one. And then the message, I think, took it to the next level.
Well, how did you start the business, right? So, like, walk us through, like, the logistics of it. Like, what did you buy? What did you sell? What's your highest? I'm not curious your gross. Like, how much did you make? If you would like to share.
I don't, but
you range it then. Give us a range.
I mean, it was on that.
Your hands out my pocket.
It was on the higher end of 5 figures, I would say.
Sure.
Yeah. So there was months where I would get. I say this. There was months where I get like 10,000. Mm-hmm. There was days where I get like 3,000. Pop-ups really helped me. Mm. So things of that nature. So I found a good person, you got to find a reliable person who could produce your shirts, right? Yeah. Somebody that really works with you, that understand your design, your cost, you know what I mean? Like somebody who understands the cost of the shirt, how to the materials of the shirt. Like you have to understand all of that, right? But then the tough part is the production, and then selling and moving and mailing them out, right? So I think so that's kind of where that I struggled, right, from getting it made to produce, mailing them out. That took. I had issues, back end issues. You had people like going off on me in the emails or even online, so you had to really, talk to people and tell them like, it's just me doing this, or, and people were understanding, so, but you have to have a strategy. You have to have good relationships with manufacturers and things of that nature, and knowing your product from top to bottom. You know what I mean? And then like being able to look at somebody and tell what size shirt they you have to be able to sell as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to be able to sell online and then sell in person, and those are two different skill sets.
Yeah.
Those are two different skill sets, So I'm blessed that I was able to I would say better in person than I am online, but the influence in marketing is the thing that really helped me in that space.
So let me ask you a question based upon that, but for Al Tariq and Larry. So some of the ways, tell us about some of the ways you've made money in the past,
So,
or even what you're doing right now.
yeah, so some of the ways I've made money in the past, number of different ways, through photography. I used to do photography. I thought I was going to be this photographer. That's how the name Vision Larry came about. That was my
Never knew that.
I never.
Yeah.
You supposed to be Ansel Adams, brother.
Yeah, so that, so the photography, I've done work, jobs. Then also the real estate. I started doing real estate. I was able to get my first house, I think, around 2017. And because of COVID, I had to sell, which was good, but it was like a disappointment as well. So I have a goal. I had a goal to have 32 two-family homes, and that'll set me up. I remember when I was in college and undergraduate school, I took a economics course, and my professor said he retired at 40 because he had 32 two-family homes. So that's been my number in my head, to get 32 two-family homes around the country, and I felt that'd be my number. So me having to sell kind of like disappointed me. So through that, right now I'm doing Airbnbs. That's been a good market. It's been a learning curve a little bit, but then once I got the gist of it, it's been pretty good for me so far. And then I've just been looking for different avenues. Now I'm looking into franchising. There's a few franchises I have my eyes on that I want to try and tap into. Just understand that market. So, but those have been the ways I've been making money.
What's that process?
So the process is, there's a number of different ways you could do it. You go. The best way to me is you could buy, like you own property and you set it up for short-term rental. But the way I do it is I rent. Because the market's so crazy right now, so it's more profitable, more easy to rent an apartment, and you set it up and you Airbnb it out for short-term rentals, and we do that through either Vrbo or the Airbnb platform, and we base it off of the number of beds we want to have. So yeah, so it's been and I got in it through a friend of mine. He's been profitable doing this business for about 4 years, and he introduced it to me, and he showed me the format and how to do it, and we worked together until I got the gist of it, and I was able to, I had three Airbnb properties, and I'm down to 1.5, because I had to shut them down and relocate. So,
What's the
Is there an application process?
yeah, so the half would be because I'm in 2 now, but my lease is up and I'm not going to renew. So my lease is up next month and I'm not going to renew because of the city ordinance, and I'm trying not to get a fine. So that's what the half is about.
Okay.
Yeah. And is the application process in regards to what?
Or Airbnb? I mean, is there?
Well, if you're renting, there's an application process. So we got to go through the same process as you if you're a tenant. So what we do is I let the landlord or the property manager know this is the plan. This is what we're doing. We have a successful business model. We have a successful platform. And would you allow us to do it in your property? Either they say yes or they say no. And then the most important thing, I had to fight and we won in court over it had to be in your lease that they need to know that we're not living there.
Yeah.
We're not living there. We're just solely doing for renting it. But you got to have a good platform. So it's an engaging market. Like you have to really be engaging. You have to really be on point. Because if you don't set your property up properly, you get a bad review that can mess you up.
Let me ask you a question. So with regards to the process, do you reach out to Airbnb or Vrbo or any other ones and have to do anything with them or?
No, you create the account and you create the account and you create a hosting account. You become a host. Cause you can have a traveler's account, then you have a hosting account. So I just have a hosting account. We have a LLC. You can either do it through your name or LLC.
Yeah.
We do ours through our LLC, and we just they know. Once you create the account, once you have the account, you set up all the stuff. But you have to know the key. You have to know understand Airbnb and understand Vrbo, which is a lot. Understand pricing, understand your market, understand where you're at. So you gotta. You can't just jump into an Airbnb thinking you'll be successful. We got a bad market. But yeah, so we do that. We set it up. We try to get into like multiple year lease, like at least a 2 or 3 year lease, just so we don't have to worry about going through that renewal process. So right now, I'm actually looking to get into another unit in a different city. But everybody's starting to change the rules now. And when you start being successful, government want their part. They won't put their hand up into it,
Big government.
Yeah.
Those guys. So how much did you make? I mean, I'm serious. What's your most profitable? Is there a season where you make your most profits?
Well, peak season, yeah. Peak season is would be like, depends, like April to December.
Okay.
My most profitable is like the last quarter of the year.
Okay.
Thanksgiving, Christmas. My worst, the first quarter of the year. So that's another thing. You got to be able to have enough to withstand down seasons.
Yeah.
Like that first quarter of the year, a lot of people lose out because these rents are expensive. Like these rents aren't cheap. And if you don't have enough banked up where you could take care of January, February, March, you can lose your whole profit, your whole business in those 3 months because it comes in slow. Yeah.
What about you, Al?
So simple, not simple. I guess probably the last property that we have is a commercial residential property. And so we had this creative idea. Again, we listen and we judge, right? And so we were thinking about going into the restaurant business. We were thinking about doing a vegan pizzeria.
Ooh.
And then come to find out, my wife didn't like vegan pizza, and so that became my idea that we need to get rid of.
But it's not for your wife.
It was not my wife, but she reflects the market, and so. And then we started getting a lot of feedback from people in the neighborhood who thought that it just wasn't time to have a vegan restaurant located on Returner Boulevard. And so the best thing about having property is that you can have friends who are looking to start their business.
Yeah.
And so we were able to find a friend who wanted to start his deli business, his deli in the city of Newark, and he created what they call Big Rocks. And so he leases space from our building, and we rent the other 3 units. And so that's how we make it. We took a couple of properties and we just consolidated into a commercial residential. Yeah. Because that's kind of what we wanted to do. Yeah. And the goal is also is to buy more residential commercial properties. Yeah. To ensure that we have enough revenue, like you said, to plan our retirement. Yeah. And also use the equity from the money that we have to for our children when they do go to college. If we haven't set up a 529 plan, which is a college education plan,
Okay.
to
I didn't know that.
make sure that we have a plan put together where we take the equity out, rather than cash out the college savings plan. And so we did buy, hold, and the best part about buying property is that you can sit around and people tell you about a deal, right? And so like you can simply just say, I was in I was in a store in Montclair. No, in fact, it wasn't in Montclair. It was actually in Morristown. And a friend just came up to me and said, Tariq, I have a deal on Bergen Street and South Orange Avenue, 2 separate properties. And we talked about it, right? And so when they know that you're quote unquote in the game, people walk up to you and say, hey, listen, we have something available to you. I'm sure it happens to you with Airbnb opportunities. I'm sure it happens to you with, opportunities regarding T-shirts and other paraphernalia. I'm sure it happens to you with real estate, regarding, closings and transactions. And so when you are in the game, people start trying to give you things, right? And and sometimes they don't want anything. They just want to be a part of your success or your story.
That's true.
And so my biggest, if I was talking to myself maybe 20 years earlier, I would say, 1, protect your credit.
Yeah.
Probably when someone told me credit is more important than cash, I didn't realize that until years later after Discover Card destroyed my credit. They're simply giving me a slinky and a pin when I was on college campus at Howard. Like they gave that to me. They said, hey, sign up for application, get a credit card. And I was literally pulling money out because I didn't have any money coming in. The second thing
Take your credit and how to use your credit.
And how to use your credit.
Yeah.
Protect your credit and how to use your credit. Like always try to keep your 700 or 700 as much as you possibly can. The second thing I would recommend, if I was talking to myself earlier, I would say is that find something small that you can invest in. The investment can be whether it's property, it could be stock, bonds, whatever that thing might be, mutual funds, your life insurance, right? While you're young,
That's another one we got
don't
right.
wait till you get in your 50s when the premium is at its highest. Get it when it is at its lowest, when your body is healthy, and you can get it at a smaller number. The third thing I would suggest is, again, marriage. Marriage is important.
For the right person, you got to marry.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to be clear on that.
I'm not
She's
talking about. We don't talk about the wrong person at this table, brother.
But I know, but we
don't talk about the wrong person.
But we still got to make sure we say marry the right person.
So I would say marriage is also, again, is a pathway to wealth, because if you don't come from wealth and you're using your salary, they also look at your wife's salary, when you try to get a mortgage, and then they also look at they also look at your credit score. And if you don't have a great credit score,
So you saying, hold on, you saying marry up?
you can marry.
Look at your wife's credit. You mean marry up?
First of all, wives' credit scores are always higher than men.
Have to check it.
And so, like, I would say that definitely, marry the right person, and the sister hopefully comes with her great credit score. But also, she's also holding you accountable as well, because she understands your decisions impact the overall decision of the health of the family.
Absolutely.
So those are the 3 things that I would recommend. If I was talking to myself at 20 years old, invest, protect your credit, and find the right relationship that doesn't drain money but add value to your household at the same time.
Yeah, I agree 100%. A lot of times we're in a position where I wish I would have.
I wish I would have.
Yeah. For real.
And that's a serious thing.
IWWH.
I try to talk to a lot of folks about it, younger people, to make sure they understand. Like you said, credit is critical.
Yeah.
It is.
Keep your credit score good, because it ain't. Once you lose it, it's hard to get it back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Really, it's hard to get it up there, and you're fighting for years to get it up back to where it was. You also just making sure like I wish I had invested in things 20 years, 30
Absolutely
years ago
right.
that I really could have.
Yeah.
Property that was sold for $1.
Fam.
Bought a whole lot of them. Everybody shaking their head as him on that one.
Jay-Z say Dumbo, right?
Things that we could have done, or just able to be in a position that are thinking about instant gratification. You got to think about your long-term goals. And I think a lot of us, a lot of people in the younger generation, and when we were there, we thought the same way: instant gratification.
Yeah.
Not what we're going to do in our future, not what's going to happen with our family that we don't have yet. But you got to project down the line. This is where you want to go and get there. Financial literacy. Know early. I miss those days where we had in school, they taught you financial literacy.
Yeah.
You know, we did the fake stock market stuff. We did the junior achievement, those kind of things.
What school you
How
went
to
to?
do.
You went to good school.
Yeah, just to be clear, I'm like, hold on, what school?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that wasn't teaching
I'm
you
like, I wasn't getting that either. What school is that? Exactly.
The school I went to, we talked a lot about that.
Okay.
We learned a lot about that.
I wasn't getting that.
Do
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
you know, one of the things that I'm glad we had this conversation with all of us, because I know that we've had it with our even the younger kids that we have with our children, because we understood that, and we don't want them to make the same mistakes. I don't want to say mistakes, same, but omissions.
Omissions.
That's what I wanted to
That
ask.
word, yeah.
Like, what's some of the things we're teaching our younger kids?
Yeah. So, well, we're gonna have to talk about that next time.
I want to ask that too.
But yeah, we, you know, I think we're all teaching our kids about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we see it every day. But again, I just want to thank you all again for us doing this. You know, I'll call y'all the core. I call us the core four.
Come on.
That's,
Core
that's
Four.
the name, the core four.
Okay.
The fantastic
Line
four.
up.
I'm the thing. I want to be the thing.
You want to be the thing?
We all have our discussions, our understandings, and our appreciation of financial literacy and what it means to not only just us personally, but to our community, which I think is very important.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As you can see, things get really personal here. We share our experiences, and we hope that this will help you with your goals. Make sure you join us for the next sit down. Don't forget to rate, follow, subscribe, and share for the Wisdom, Wealth, and Winning podcast.